Hey guys, welcome to another video. Last time I asked you guys what the zigzag white lines meant on the road. I'm going to choose this person as the winner because they gave a really good answer. No parking and overtaking as you're approaching a pedestrian crossing. Please reply back to me or message me so that I can then send you your prize money. Well done. Hello guys, we are in Borehamwood for this one. Unfortunately, some of the video didn't record at the beginning. So we're kind of like 5 minutes into the test and he's already got a serious fault for getting too close to a vehicle before but the test center, but I'm going to show you where he gets 2 more serious faults as we drive along. So this is quite, normally this road is quite quiet, it's not too busy normally like this, but right now it's kind of busy it looks like. So he's doing around 12 miles an hour, just a bit over, because there's lots of traffic in front. And you have to remember, if you're in traffic like this, don't be tempted to go fast just because it's a 30 mile an hour zone. Doesn't mean you should be going 30 miles per hour. Sometimes there's not enough space to do that. But once the traffic starts clearing up, then you can build up your speed gradually. So if you pay attention to the traffic light here, or the pedestrian crossing, you see he's reacted quite late, then he's ended up stopping over the line. And then pedestrians are going to have to go around him to go past the crossing. He actually got a serious fault for this because the examiner said he could have braked a little bit harder. If he braked a bit harder, that would have been fine. He could have stopped before the line, but because he brakes too softly, he ended up being over the line, having to force these kids to go around his car. So that's a serious fault. And then when you're in this position as well, you can't really see any of the lights again, so you need to kind of look out for the people behind you, the people that are on the other side. When they start moving, it's probably time for you to move as well because you can't see the light because you've gone so far forward. So 2 serious faults so far. I always say this to my learners: if you're not sure whether you got a fault or not, just carry on like you haven't got a fault. So there, he might have stopped just before the line and it could have been a minor fault, but then sometimes people think it's a serious and then they give up. Never give up until right at the end. Until they tell you turn the engine off, then that's when you can relax. Until then, just think like you're passing. So switch lanes there to go straight at this roundabout because that left lane is only for turning left. Going towards the high street here. It's a really good idea to check your left mirror here and your right mirror as well, because you see there's lots of space for people to come off on both left and right. So it's a good idea to check both sides before you exit. People walking across. So high streets are quite tricky to deal with in terms of driving because lots of things are happening there. See people walk in front of the car, other people are parking their cars, coming out of parking spaces. So you really need to take your time. Where it's busy like this, don't rush. Lots of hazards in the way. See, then you've got a van doing a maneuver in front as well. And then carrying on. So you see there, that's not really a pedestrian crossing, but people will just walk in front of the car sometimes. So you have to be prepared, but don't overreact. And if you're not used to that, it can be quite annoying, especially when other drivers are coming in front of you as well, but just stay relaxed and keep moving. Like there, for instance, that man has to wait, so our learner done really well there not to overreact because it's not in a pedestrian crossing, so they have to wait for him to go past first. Just like this person has to wait as well. Because if you end up stopping for everyone that's on the side, you're never going to get anywhere. But if people are walking in front of your car, then you have no choice. So now approaching a roundabout where you can go straight normally, or they can get you to turn right here. Very important to get in the correct lane. Checking the right properly and then going if it's safe. So that was pretty good. So throughout that high street and doing the roundabouts as well, the learner done that really well. And then now you're out of the high street kind of area. It's a different style of driving now, where it's a bit more open, but you still have to watch out for hazards, roundabouts, junctions. Going straight at the mini roundabout, no need to signal to come off. So I know some people get confused, they think you should have to signal to come off. The answer is you don't signal to come off on mini roundabouts. And then here, turning left into the side road. And the van is coming with us as well. So the van's been behind for quite a while. Making sure you check your right mirror to go around this car. Because whenever you're going around something, you want to check your mirror first before you go around to that direction. He's been asked to pull over on the right, so he's doing a right reverse. This is the one that most people pray for because they think it's nice and easy, but you can still get it wrong if you're not careful. But it's just a matter of reversing back 2 car lengths, keeping reasonably close to the pavement. So the examiner would have given that brief right now, telling him to reverse back 2 car lengths, keeping a reasonable distance between him and the curb. So now it's a matter of looking around, making sure there's no one right next to you when you're reversing. And if somebody comes right next to you, you stop. And then you look around and then you carry on again. So he's turning a bit towards the curb. I'm guessing he probably thought he was a bit too far away. And then straightening up again. And you notice how slow he's going back as well. This is what you want to do. Don't rush this. Go back really slowly. That way it's more controlled. You're more likely to see things coming from behind and in front. And if you make a mistake, you have a more chance of more time to see it before it's too late. And it's just more controlled that way as well. So once the 2 car lengths are done, the examiner will probably tell you, okay, that's enough. Or if you think that's enough for yourself, you stop the car, and then if it's not enough, they'll tell you to go back a bit more. If you've done a lot, they'll just tell you, okay, that's fine, and it's not going to affect your test. Then it's just a matter of securing the car. They'll tell you to then drive on again, in which case you can look around, and then when it's safe, you move off. On this section, it looks a bit hilly. It's a slight slope, so if he's not doing it properly, he might roll back. But he's done that pretty well, and now he's off. So it's important to go straight to the left. As soon as you move off, go straight to the left side. Don't stay on the right hand side for too long. You can see there's a lot of glare from the sunlight as well. So if you can, practice driving wearing sunglasses. And I believe he's hit the curb there. He's pulling over. He got a bit too close to the left. So that's going to be a fault. Not necessarily a serious fault. A lot of people have this idea that if you hit the curb, you're going to get failed straight away. That's not the case. If you hit the curb hard, or if you're going too fast, that's when you're going to likely that's when you're more likely to fail. But if you just clip the curb or mount the curb a tiny bit, most of the time you're not going to fail unless you're doing it all the time. Then you're not going to fail for it once or twice. So it's really important to practice pulling over as well, because people underestimate how difficult it is to pull over and then drive on again. They think it's a simple thing to do, but to do it correctly takes practice. So still on the side roads. I think this is why a lot of people like Borehamwood as well. There's not too much going on in certain places. There's a lot of side roads, a lot of quiet roads as well. Even some of the roundabouts are really quiet. There's not much going on. So and here's pulling over, and then, unless they've said you can block the driveway, don't block the driveway. They'll say something like pull over on the left, ignore any driveways on this occasion. If they don't say that, then you're supposed to pull over somewhere where you're not blocking a driveway. And the yellow lines is fine, you can stop there. When it's a single yellow line, you can stop there. So notice how much they're pulling over. Now it's probably just going to drive on again. Making sure he does it safely. And then turning left at the end of the road. It's pretty good, but there's nothing really going on there, so that was nice and easy. What did those double white lines on the floor mean? Little competition for you guys. If you can tell me in the comments what those double white lines mean, I'm going to choose a winner at random to win £20. So the last time I've done this competition, the person didn't claim their prize. So when I tell you that you've won, please guys, make sure that you message me so you can claim your prize. But for the people that want to win something, let me know what those double white lines meant on the floor. Leave it in the comments and I'll select a winner at random. Position to turn right here. Then you see a sign for 50 miles per hour. So now it's building up speed. So on these kind of roads, sometimes the speed is a bit higher than normal. You don't have to do the speed limit that is showing you. Sometimes it's not safe to do the speed limit the whole time. It depends on what's going on, how smooth is the road, because sometimes the road can be really rough and there could be bends as well. So it's up to you to decide how fast to go. The limit is there, but you don't have to reach the limit. Just make sure you're driving safely. Some of these roads are national speed, and you can't be doing 60 miles an hour on them because it's just too fast on a lot of the sections. And you can see there's a lot of speed limit changes as well, so make sure you're looking out for them so that you don't miss any. And then here, turning left. For some reason he decided to go into third gear here, and then it's ended up stalling. This is where you got another serious fault. And then we've got a national speed section now, where it's 60 miles per hour, but you can't do 60 here. It's too narrow for that, and it's too windy. So when you're turning into a road and you're trying to build up speed, it doesn't make sense to go into a higher gear straight away like third gear. That's not going to work, especially there it was on a slight slope as well. Stay in the lower gear and then build up speed and then change gears. So that's why he got a serious fault there, because he stalled mid-turn when someone's behind him. If you stall just on a random place when there's no one around, you probably won't get a serious fault for it. But when there's somebody behind you turning into the road with you and then you're stalling in front of them, that's going to be a big issue. So remember, it's 60 here. Right now it's doing just over 30. very narrow, poor visibility as well because of the glare, and with a few bends here and there, so it's not a good idea to be going too fast here. Turning left, so his positioning could have been a bit more left as you approach that one. So he's going a bit faster than before because it's a bit more open. So that's how you want to do it. Respond to how the road is. So if it's a bit wider, you can go a bit faster. If it's straighter, you can go a bit faster. But then if it's really narrow or windy, then you bring your speed down. So in this section, he's doing pretty well. And be really careful. See there with the water? I've seen somebody fell because they didn't notice a puddle was there, or they noticed it but they just thought they're going to drive through it really fast. If you're doing more than 40 miles per hour on those kind of roads and you see a big puddle, slow down. Or if you can, go around it if it's safe to do so. So there you couldn't go around it because that coach was there. But if there was no one around and you check your mirror, you can go around it safely. You're much better off doing it that way than trying to drive through it at high speeds. And watch out for any parked vehicles on the side of the road as well. So these lanes are super narrow, so if anything is sticking out even a little bit, that's going to affect how you drive. Then back to 30 miles per hour now. And then turning left. His position could definitely improve when you come to turning left. You want to position your car in a way that lets everyone around you know that you're going to turn left. So watch out for the road markings. The left lane is only for going left, so you want to be in the one for going straight if you are going straight. See there, the lights change really quickly once he stopped, so that's why you want to be prepared. It's a good idea to go into first as you're approaching it, so that way if it changes like that, you're ready to move. I know a lot of people, they either stay in second gear as they're stopping or they'll leave it in neutral. It's just a lot of work that way. Just go into first as you approach, keep it in first, and then drive on when it's safe. Much easier that way. And remembering the last speed limit sign that you saw as well, because it can be really easy to forget what the speed limit is. Especially if it keeps changing, and then look out for the reminders. There's one little reminder on the left there telling you what the speed limit is. So at this sort of stage, you'd be probably really relaxed now because you've done quite a lot of the test and you're not thinking too much about the test anymore. And you're kind of like on the way back to the test center, but it's really important that you still stay focused because it can easily go wrong. A lot of people fail near the end, by the way, because they get too relaxed, or I don't know, I think it's mostly because they get too relaxed. Stay alert and be ready for anything until they tell you to turn the engine off. You're still on your test, so stay in the game. Because the first few minutes are kind of like you're shaky, you're alert because you're thinking, oh my god, I'm on a test. But after a while, you're driving around. Some people start to enjoy it even because you realize it's not that stressful. You're just driving. So now it's 40. But here, don't be tempted to go into fourth gear here because this hill is quite steep. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this is really steep. And if you try to go up this in fourth gear, this sort of speed, your car is going to struggle. And I think that's what's happened. Something's happening here where he's going really slowly. And he stalled. Stalled in the middle of the road, yeah. See, this is what happens if you go into fourth or go into a higher gear too early and you stall in the middle of the road. I'm thinking maybe the one before wasn't the one where he got the serious. I think it was this one. When he turned before, I don't think he got the serious there. I think it was this one where he got the serious. I thought it happened on a turn, but this happened on the hill where he's going up the hill and then he's tried to gear up too early and the car starts struggling and then he's stalled in the middle of the road basically, which is why he got a serious fault for that one. So if anything, stay in the lower gears for much longer, use lots more gas and then change when you get to the top of the hill. And there's a lot of signs as well that are a bit hidden sometimes in the bushes. So you want to be looking out for those because they tell you what's happening and tell you where to go. Sometimes here they'll get you to turn right. But here it looks like we're going left first exit. Then it's back to 30 miles per hour. And then here, this is just pretty much the home run back to, or the home stretch back to the test center. But like I said before, things can happen between now and the end. Sometimes things happen even in the test center once you've gone in. So stay alert until the end. But even if you think you failed already, sometimes what you think you failed for is not what you actually fell for. Or sometimes you don't even fail, but you think you failed and then people give up too soon. Just assume that you've passed until the end because you never know. Unless you're inside the examiner's mind, you won't know for certain if you failed unless something really crazy has happened, like you've crashed, then you would have failed. But if that hasn't happened, there's still a chance. Third exit, making sure you signal left to come off that roundabout. So this wasn't recording before because the camera wasn't working, but this is where he got his first serious fault coming out of the test center, coming this way on the road. He was driving through this gap and he got too close to the cars that are parked up. So it was through this bit here. Instead of driving in the middle, he was trying to keep to the left and then he ended up getting too close to the parked cars and he got a serious fault for that. This was before. Right now he's doing it okay, but before he got a serious fault. So that's how the test went. Hopefully on the next one he's going to pass it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. I'm going to be doing more of these, so make sure you subscribe, and I've got lots of other kind of videos as well, so make sure you check those out in the channel. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey guys, welcome to another video. Last time I asked you guys what the zigzag white lines meant on the road. I'm going to choose this person as the winner because they gave a really good answer. No parking and overtaking as you're approaching a pedestrian crossing. Please reply back to me or message me so that I can then send you your prize money. Well done.